Welcome, friends. I hope you're ready to fight.
Wow, we're backwards today, or is that just me? Hey,
Not anymore.
That was throwing me for a second.
I thought something was a little weird.
Yeah.
Can we get a vibe check up on the screen? How's everybody doing? And by everybody, I mean the two of us. Or,
Yeah,
people who are watching, tell us how you're doing in the chat.
yeah, so as we're recording this, we are 8 days out from Halloween, which is both exciting and sad. You know?
Yeah, it's always over too fast.
Yep. And it's like, oh,
You
there's
do-
only 8 more spooky days.
I know, which is like so sad. But I will continue celebrating in my heart afterwards because, if
Mhm.
Christmas refuses to stay in her lane, Halloween doesn't have to either, in my humble opinion.
Yes. And of course we used November as extended spooky season last year. We got
So
shadows this year, but
we do have shadows, which,
at the
oh
stream.
my god.
We're not talking about it. You got to save it.
I know we're not talking about it. I just want to say that I'm really happy. I'm really happy. My fucking family is back.
I'm going to pretend you said nothing.
Fair enough. What's
Like
new with you,
genuine.
bestie?
Oh man, lots of things, lots and lots of things.
Anything that isn't being saved for the worsening?
Well, yeah, I said that I had a story to tell.
You said you had
That I
several
texted you about.
stories.
Well, no,
You have
that's
multiple
class
bullet
stories.
points.
I'm talking about the thing I texted you about on Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember what it was because I
Yeah.
was at Fright Fest at Six Flags Darien
Oh,
Lake on
yeah.
Saturday. And we were on Ride of Steel, which is my friend's favorite roller coaster, and I've been on it I don't know how many times at this point.
Did that used to be
And
Bizarro?
it
Or am I
used to be the
stupid?
Superman,
Gotcha, okay.
and then they lost like
No,
the
I'm thinking of New
licensing, and
England.
then yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. But we were on it. We weren't super far into the ride. Just at this point, it's so familiar. It's kind of just like, eh.
Sure.
But all of a sudden, it felt like somebody like punched me really hard in the arm, like some giant person just right in my arm. And of course, it startles me because we're in a coaster going I don't know how fast, And
Yeah.
I looked down because I was wearing like a zip up hoodie, and there were feathers on my sleeve, just flapping in the breeze, stuck to my sleeve. And I'm like, oh my god, it was a bird. And I
Wow.
don't think that bird could have survived.
That's
Like,
very sad and rip to that
yeah.
bird.
Yeah, I meant to Google how fast that roller coaster goes so I could say like we collided at this mile per hour, but the feathers blew off by the time we got to the end of the track.
So you couldn't take a picture for evidence?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, because again, it was still like it was fairly early on in the ride, so there was a long time left for it to just kind of blow off.
Yeah.
But it really did feel like somebody punched me in the arm, and like I had pain radiating down my arm to my fingertips, and I thought it was going to be a big bruise, but not too bad.
My friend got a face full of vodka on a roller coaster in Russia, and that's not a joke. That actually happened.
Fun.
So, I mean, like, would you say that's better or worse?
I would say that's better. It's not painful.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, your eyes.
Yeah, but like, and plus nobody died. I'm pretty sure that bird died.
Rip to that bird.
Yeah, now I'm trying to do.
Are we attempting to do some science right now?
73 miles an hour. Bird collided with my arm. Yeah, and you know what? It could have been my face.
It could have been your face. And it's a good thing that it wasn't.
Yeah, like it could have hit me anywhere else and it would have been worse. Like face worst, chest worse, neck like the arm and the bicep, I'll take it. You know.
Sure.
And it felt very like, so when we were waiting in line, a couple people asked us to switch with them so that they could like, line up with their friends who were in the other car. It's like, if I hadn't allowed this switch, this never would have happened. It would have been the people whose spot we took.
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up, Chris. When I said the thing about, at least it wasn't my face.
Oh my God.
She's like, that happened to Fabio, right? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, there's pictures of it with like blood all over his face.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, it's one of those things where, yeah, I guess it, of course it's technically possible, but I never really thought about it as a real risk because you think the birds would be smart enough to stay away from this loud metal thing.
You would think. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is a post that I saw back when I used to be on Tumblr. It was like that said I was on a roller coaster and I saw somebody lose their hat on a loop and catch it on the way back down.
Nice.
And God, I hope that's true because imagine, God, the sauce, the swagger. I would never shut up about that for the rest of my life.
Particularly if somebody filmed it, because I don't know if anybody would believe you.
Here's the thing that did get caught on camera, even though we don't actually have the picture. Oh, owie.
Ugh. And presumably that's his blood and not the birds.
God, I would hope so. We didn't like buy this, they're like, buy the stupid ride picture. We didn't do that. But when I was a kid, we went to visit my mom's brother down in Florida and we went to Universal. And there's the like Jurassic Park ride there with the giant T-Rex animatronic or whatever. And my mom didn't want to get her hair wet. So she stole my dad's baseball cap and you can see it like flying off in the or like you could see it having flown off up in the corner of the picture. And that still gets talked about in my family.
Yeah, I was still in kind of a bit of shock after we got off the ride, so I didn't really look at our picture, and I can only imagine the face that I was making. I was so horrified. Like that
I can't
poor
blame
bird.
you.
And there was like a mark on my sleeve where the bird hit and stuff, and I was just looking at it like, oh my God. It was traumatizing. I was very upset. And then she wanted to ride that same coaster again later, and I was thankful the line was too long. It's like I'd really rather not.
Fucking not.
Yeah, I'd really rather not get right back on that. If that, give it a while.
Yeah.
Let the memory fade. Yeah, we wrote other stuff. It's fine.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been going on that I don't have as a bullet point. I really don't think so. Arthur and I went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show on Monday night, and we are going to be we had to postpone our debrief just because life, which will happen in more detail on the upcoming episode of Regrettable Reviews. We're going to lead with that before we start talking about the movie that we have picked for the movie that I'm being punished with.
Apparently you deserve it.
Apparently, again, I cannot stress how much I had never seen Xanadu, and I just saw the science fiction tag in my Letterboxd watch list. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but the Rocky Horror Picture Show was a fucking blast. We had a great time, packed house, very good vibes. So that was a fun little adventure that I'm looking forward to talking even more about.
Nice.
And
yeah, I'll have you know that I made sure I got home early to watch your debrief, and then you didn't have it.
I'm so sorry, but yeah, we got our little Get Ready With Us. That's up on Twitch and YouTube and all that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah, I was out and about, and I was like, "Oh, I got to get back by 9:30."
I'm so sorry.
And I even
it wasn't me; it was Arthur. I'll throw him under the bus. I don't care. He's the one with a child.
How dare he?
I know, right? Fucking rude.
I could have been out longer, enjoying my evening, but no.
I'm so sorry.
Just trying to be a supportive...
Blame him.
Co-networker? That's what I'm going to go with.
Sure. Network member?
I know, but it didn't seem fun. I want to make up a fun term.
We'll circle back to that.
Yeah. An
Uh,
associate. Network associate.
maybe. We sort of already touched on this. Are we getting excited for Halloween, bestie?
Yeah, again, I always have such like mixed feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, but oh
But
man.
yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought about it a lot, to be honest. Like, I'm just enjoying the ambiance of the season.
So
Mostly.
valid. I think about it constantly, but also when am I not thinking about Halloween?
Yeah.
Putting that out there.
I did I did go all out on my house in Animal Crossing for it.
Amazing.
Nothing but orange flowers in my yard and all kinds of pumpkin themed things.
Love it.
I won't decorate my own house.
Weak.
My
I
actual
wish I
home.
had more decorations in my actual house, but life's a bitch like that. Got my Halloween costume. Gonna finish the alterations this week, so I'm gonna have that ready. Very excited. We've got a Halloween episode of this podcast that you're watching right now next week, which is gonna be super fun. We've got the Big Dumb Monster Mash at the Bull and Bee Meadery, which is going to be so awesome. So if you're in the Albany area, get your ass over there. And I will be saying that again at the end of the show tonight because we want people to show up.
Yes.
Boom, link for you right there. And this is kind of maybe technically worsening material, but it's so minor that I'm just going to share it now. I got a new Ghost shirt, which is only special because it's for the Pale Tour Named Death. That was in 2018. Guess where they fucking came?
Albany?
They came to fucking Albany in 2018 when I had no idea who Ghost was.
You'll have that.
And now I just have to live with the knowledge that I could have seen my beloved Cardinalcopia in my own city.
How many Ghost shirts do you have now?
We might be up to 20.
Okay.
If you're counting some of the sweatshirts, then we're definitely up to 20. At least.
Interesting.
Don't give me that look.
What look? I'm just sitting here. There's literally no expression on my face.
You have a very judgmental neutral.
Like, I literally had no muscles tensed on my face at all to make an expression. This is just what my face looks like.
Then maybe I'm just feeling attacked because I'm anticipating it.
You project.
That's what happens when you were bullied as a kid.
You always project. Like, how you think people will react is how you see them react, even if they're not reacting that way. You do that a lot.
You know what? That probably is one of my toxic traits, and I'll work on that.
Yeah. Always saying I'm like judging you and stuff. And I'm like, I'm literally just sitting here.
Maybe it's also that I'm judging myself, or that I'm anticipating judgment, even though I shouldn't be.
That's what I said. You project.
Okay. So, psychoanalysis of me aside, you have some discussion points that mean nothing to me. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I just don't have context for the several things.
I would call them discussion points.
Stories, things that you said.
Very brief anecdotes. Yeah.
I have no context for these whatsoever because you texted them to me, contextless.
Yeah.
Just to remind yourself. So what I have in order is drinking game, not much time left, punk, bifocals. The floor is yours.
I mostly sent you the notes that I had made because it fits into the theme that we've been talking about of like how just insane our notes often are for the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, you look at that and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I was a bit weird in one of my classes yesterday. I'm not really sure why. Just extra weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I made some comments.
About?
Well, so the first one, the drinking game one, we were talking about radio and how it's local. And I can't remember
Wait,
exactly
can I
what
guess? Did you say that you were bitching at beer pong? Because you said that in multiple classes I took with you.
I did not. And I don't
Okay.
remember that.
I tried.
I never remember what I say in class, which is why this is so rare, and I took notes to make sure I didn't forget.
I love it. Anyway, continue.
But I was talking about radio and how it, it tends to be local rather than national. And I can't remember exactly what it was that I said, but I said local like I don't know how many times in like 10 seconds. It was like, oh, so local stations are really important to the local economy and the local culture. Like, so I finished the phrase and I was like, that was saying local a lot. If this were a drinking game, we would be in trouble. And for some reason, that got one of definitely the biggest laugh of the semester. I was like,
I love that for you. Okay, pop off.
I was like, I guess probably most of your professors don't talk about drinking games in class, but they thought that was pretty funny.
I love
so
it.
That's what that was. I should form a drinking game around my classes for things that I say a lot or do a lot. But we wouldn't drink alcohol because we're not allowed. But wouldn't that be funny if I brought beverages?
Yes, it would be.
Of some kind, lemonade or whatever.
I like it.
But yeah, that was that one.
So what about this not much time left thing?
So during the same class, my phone was sitting on the table in front of me because I use it to keep an eye on the time. I have like the always on display, and it made a noise. And I was like, wait, why did it make a noise? It's on Do Not Disturb. It like automatically goes into it for class. And so I was like, sorry, everybody, it shouldn't have made a sound. And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's on Do Not Disturb, but I have my parents on the exception list because you never know what's going to happen. There could be an emergency. I mean, let's face it, they're not getting any older, any younger. They might not have much time left.
Oh my God.
They thought that was pretty funny as well.
My notebook would have been seeing some usage if I were in this class. I'll tell you that.
One of my students was laughing and like, the kind of laugh where you like feel bad about it. And she was like, but you're so real for saying that though.
Thank you. It's macabre, but sometimes we have to acknowledge these things.
It's the truth. My parents and my brother are all exceptions to the Do Not Disturb because, something could go wrong.
Yeah.
My parents are, they're aging. So that's what that was.
Got it.
Punk was just me referencing, mostly it was just the fact that I mentioned that I listened to it, which I think was very surprising to them. Because again, we were talking about radio. And I told them, I was like, I'll admit to all of you, I don't really listen to the radio. Pretty much the only time is if like my parents are visiting, because I know they don't want to listen to my music, And I was like, because it's mostly like, punk, and their faces were like,
okay. I gotta say,
because I exude the punk rock lifestyle.
That's the thing. There were several times where I was like, that's information that does not compute for me at the time. Because I was like, no. Like, you don't really look punk when you're in your, like, teacher clothes.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I kind of wouldn't see that coming. Or, like, I didn't see it coming at the time. As well, along with several other things about you. But...
yeah, and that was the first time I'd said anything along those lines to that class. And so I think they were just a little confused.
Understandable. And what about this bifocals thing? Is it about the fact that you're getting old?
Well, so when I do class, and I got my PowerPoint thing going, it's in presenter mode on my laptop, so I can kind of see what's coming next, But the problem was I couldn't really read it very well, and I was just kind of standing there squinting at the screen. And I was like, technically I have bifocals. I don't like to wear them because they're annoying. I can see well enough, and then just keep going back to squinting. And they thought that was pretty funny. Huh, here's my bifocals right here because I have to wear them while I work.
I think they look fine.
I can see better. I can
I
see
love
without
that
them.
for
I
you.
can see better with them.
I mean, that tends to be how they work unless you're legally blind.
Well, I mean,
Just
it's not like
glasses
super
in
fuzzy.
general.
Like, I can still read what's on the screen and stuff. It's just sharper. Sharper. So yeah, they thought it was pretty funny that I was refusing to wear my glasses and instead just standing up there squinting at things.
I would have found that an entertaining class period.
Yeah, I got weird. Those are the ones I remember anyway.
I love it. But hey, look at you remembering. That's something. I've been telling you that you need to do this for literally years now.
That's what I said. It was a rare day that I actually remembered the things that I said. I also made a lot of comments about being like an actual adult. You know, I am an adult human woman. I swear I know how to drink water as I choke on my own water.
Love it.
A lot of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing?
Chaos. He does chaos.
I just saw a tail going up, so I know that he's on top of a surface, but I'm not hearing any alarming sounds, so I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go with that for now. Moving right along. So the next thing I have to discuss is something that I stumbled across on Reddit. It's one of those like, how would X wear Y? And this one is, how would Medusa wear a hat? And I do believe we're going to have that on screen for people to see. Wonderful. Yeah. How would Medusa wear a hat? Would she have one large hat that covers some of the snakes? Or would every individual snake have a hat?
First off, that's cruelty to animals because she's smothering them. But
so does that answer the question for us?
What mascot is that?
I have absolutely no idea. Do I look like I know sports to you?
No, but what kind of bird is it?
I think it's supposed to be
like
a penguin.
Guess. Could be. Ah, thank you, Chris. Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, I was wrong.
See, I ask because, yes, you are technically the only other person on the podcast, but Chris is here and he knows things, so.
This is also true.
Anyhow, now I'm glad I know.
Yeah, how do we think Medusa would wear a hat?
I gotta say, I feel like the first one, just the one big hat, is more likely, just in a practical sense, but the second one is much more fun.
It's much more fun and it's much fairer.
Yeah, it's nicer to the snakes. They each get their own little hat, and none of them get suffocated.
Although I suppose perhaps the large hat could be pleasant for the snakes if it's cold out.
Snakes do love a hide. But then it's still unfair because the lower snakes can't get to it.
So is perhaps the most equitable decision to be wearing like a babushka scarf?
Yeah, or like a hood. Wear a hoodie and just put your hood up and they can all nestle in, or be hard to get out. A hoodie with a bunch of holes in the hood?
Maybe.
Because they need to be able to get in and out, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean, we both have snakes. We know this. They need to be able to move in and out to regulate their body temperature.
Yes. So perhaps a nice breathable scarf.
Yeah. I was trying to think, are there hats that are full of holes that are also not too holy that they let in too much cool air?
What are those? It's a wide-brimmed hat. It's almost wicker-esque. I'm describing it terribly. It's like straw hat vibes, but more fashionable. You know what I mean? It's maybe coastal grandma aesthetic. Do any of these words I'm saying ring any bells? Am I conjuring
Yeah,
up an
I mean,
image?
I have an aunt who's a coastal grandma, and she does like a wide brimmed hat, but I don't know if I've seen the specific one you're describing.
They're usually tan or white.
I got that from this sort of wicker part.
Not that it matters, but I feel like that would be a breathable hat.
I can corner the market on this. I can knit hats that have a bunch of holes in them
Fire snakes.
For Medusas. Because
like
who
it.
else would need this? Because
I don't know.
There are definitely like narrative worlds where the Medusa isn't just like the one person named Medusa. It's like a kind of monster, and there's multiple.
Well, yeah, she's a Gorgon, right?
Yeah. So
I remember some of my myths.
Yeah. So in those worlds, I can corner the market.
You could corner the market. That's not a Medusa bad idea. I like it.
Medu caps? Nope, that's not working.
No. Oh, god damn. See, no, it doesn't work.
What?
I was trying to work do-rag into there somewhere, like a wave cap.
Medu-rag?
But I don't think it's works the same, you know? Because that's supposed to like flatten out the hair to form the waves.
Yeah.
So it's a good pun, but it does not work for the product.
That's true. Yeah, I was trying to think of like other kinds of hats. I mean, it's essentially it would be a beanie.
Probably, yeah. I got nothing there.
Oh, sometimes people call them toboggans. So tobogorgon.
People call them fucking what now? That's a sled.
Toboggans? I know. Is that an Ohio thing?
I think it might be.
I like how sometimes, like, I haven't lived in Ohio in 11 years, but I'm constantly still finding things that I didn't realize
like, oh,
were
that's an Ohio
things. Like, I'll just say them like they're normal because to me they are, and then people look at me funny, and I'm like, wait, is that another one?
Wait a second. I found another.
Oh, I started typing in toboggan, and toboggan hat comes up before toboggan sled.
I've never heard the word toboggan used to refer to anything but the sled.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a New York thing.
Ooh, here's a Reddit post. Did anybody else grow up in an area where beanie hats were called toboggans? I no longer live in Appalachia, and nobody here has ever heard of a beanie being called a toboggan. Yeah, I never heard the word beanie growing up. They were always toboggans.
That is bizarre to me.
It's like how I didn't realize till college that a grinny was a chipmunk. That they were the same thing.
A fucking what?
Grinny. That's what we called chipmunks in the place where I grew up.
Whack.
I have no idea why. I thought it was like a separate thing. And then I was in college by the time I realized, like, oh no, that's just the word we use for chipmunks.
When you were a kid, did you think that chipmunks were baby squirrels?
Probably, but I don't specifically remember.
Because I sure did.
Well, but we called them grinnies. That was the thing. Like, they were a separate thing in my head. Which I think, I grew up right on the border of West Virginia, and I think we got a lot of terminology from those weirdos.
West Virginia.
Again, I am half West Virginian, so I can say that. My dad's family is entirely still in West Virginia. So
we must make the pilgrimage to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So we can slap podcast QR code stickers on Mothman's butt cheeks.
We got to plan a road trip, and we can stop in Columbus on the way because it's like way on the other end of the state of West Virginia. So you would actually kind of go through that area.
Fine, but fucking network road trip. Let's go. Party time.
I love Columbus and I miss it very much. It's been 11. Well, no,
Party
I visited
time.
9 years maybe since I was there. 8 years. I don't know. Yeah, there were all kinds of those terms, like using a phrase like "read up," like you read up a room.
I just want to sit here and have a slang lesson now because we talked about the last thing that I have written down for today.
Why do you think I'm saying these random things? I'm aware.
They're delighting me.
The things.
They're delighting me. Please.
That's why I've been saying these things. Yeah. A lot of them. Well, Red Up is not just a West Virginia thing. It's part of Pittsburghese, which of course is its own language. We went to that Goodwill down the road from you where I got the Pittsburghese mug. We talked about that.
We did talk about that. I completely forgot until you just brought it up.
Yeah. Pittsburgh has its own like language. It's a totally separate thing. But yeah, you read up a room. It's always wash and not wash for some reason.
Don't like that.
Nope. I remember my grandmother calling toilets commodes. That was weirdly common.
I feel like that's like an old-timey thing, though.
It is old-timey, but it was also, for some reason, weirdly common amongst the people I knew in West Virginia.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Chris, you're absolutely right. Primanti Brothers is the only language they know in Pittsburgh.
It's Mom, a famous. Come pick me up. I'm scared.
It's a famous sandwich chain. They put French fries on their.
Okay, that honestly kind of sounds like it fucks.
Yeah, Primanti Brothers is one of the things that Pittsburgh is known for. Again, I grew up 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, right on the border with both Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
I often don't think about that.
Yeah, literally our neighboring towns were Chester, West Virginia, and Midland, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
Shared a border. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, there was I feel like there's others, but there's definitely a lot of Pittsburghese. Like
I'm fascinated by it. What?
Yins?
Huh?
Kind of like y'all, but that's specifically what they. Yins all gonna go to the. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's why people in Pittsburgh are often called Yinzers.
This is incredible. I have to. Okay, no, I have to like the fact this discourse can be very fucking annoying. It's because it happens on Twitter like fucking clockwork, where everyone's like, oh, or a bunch of Europeans are like, oh, America's a cultural monolith. Like American culture is all the same. But that found its way to one of my friends that lives in Moscow in a very wholesome way, where she started listening to Chappell Roan. So she was like asking me to explain how the East Coast is different from the Midwest, is different from the West Coast, is different from the Deep South. So I just started sending her like regional memes, some of which that I didn't even understand, which helped illustrate my point that this place is stupid fucking huge and no one has any idea what's going on everywhere at all times.
Yeah.
Like I would send her things and be like, I don't know what this means, and I hope that helps prove my point. But now I'm gonna have to like clip this segment or find memes referring to that, because like I had a couple random things saved up just because I thought they were funny, but now every time I come across something that's like a specific US subculture meme, I send it to her. Mm-hmm. And this has just opened up a whole new world for me.
When I go to like different cities for conferences and stuff, I always do research in advance to find out like what the city's known for and like cool things to do when I'm there. And it's always wild because it's always like, this city is known for this thing. And I'm like, I've never heard of this thing in my life. I have no
idea what this is.
Yeah. And so I've learned so many things, like going to Providence and finding out like Stuffies are the big thing there and they're freaking delicious.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
they're quahog clams, where they take the clam and they cut it up and mix it with stuff and put it back in the shell and then bake it.
Okay.
So good.
Ooh,
Really bad for
actually,
you, but so good.
Fucking shocker. Everything that's delicious and good for your soul is unfortunately bad for your health.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. So
Yeah.
This is like a thing that I've just been rolling around in my own mind for a hot minute because I would like to have some friends who don't live in this country come visit me someday, and I want to show them as much good stuff as possible. So like, you're having a friend from another country who has never been to the United States before come visit you for 10 days. What are you doing? Where are you taking them? Like, what activities? Because I have some ideas. Like,
well, I mean,
one of the first things I would like go to New York City, obviously. See Times Square, as much as it's like, a fucking tourist trap and whatever. It is nuts seeing it like for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
Probably
overwhelming.
Hit up a baseball game in Boston just because I'm a Red Sox fan. Also, I would say come in the fall because it's gorgeous here. Like,
yeah,
fall is peak upstate New York. And I would show them, you know what I would do? I would show them fucking cider donuts. I would introduce them to cider donuts.
You're trying to keep it in New York State?
Not necessarily keep it in New York State, but like feasible. So like, again, I would hit up Boston, but like show them like, because like our international reputation is not great sometimes.
Yeah.
So essentially show off like the best of what we have to offer in your personal area.
I would say go up north a little bit for some leaf peeping and like some of the New England states.
Yes.
Yeah, living in Maine in the fall was just like when you would drive from Bangor to Bar Harbor, it's like all these just wooded areas, and you'd see all these different colored trees up on these hills.
You have to play the Far Harbor DLC. You are gonna fucking love it.
I don't need more things to play.
It's already Fallout 4.
I know. Like, I can't even think about the DLC, even though I have it all.
Well, we'll get to that. Hang on.
Yeah.
But like, introduce.
Yeah, I'd definitely say some leaf peeping.
Introduce them to like apple cider donuts. Also, just like the concept of buffalo wings. That's really not a thing outside of the United States.
Barbecue.
Get some good ass fucking barbecue.
I mean, in an ideal world, you'd be able to take them like down south for it, but
yeah, you're gonna have to like. We're gonna be making some concessions here because again, this place is stupid huge.
Yeah,
but I have some ideas. I like whoever gets to crash on my couch first from wherever. I have plans for you. Whichever one of my friends it winds up being. And I don't say that as a threat. Actually, no, I'm threatening you with a good time.
It does now. I didn't think it sounded threatening until you said that.
with a possibly overwhelming but very good time.
Yeah. By the way, have you noticed this is my little Rufus the cat from my Reanimator figure? It's just
oh my god, you freed him?
Yeah, there's Rufus. There's a little head in a tray. There's a bottle of reagent right there.
I love it.
He's holding a syringe full of reagent. He's just sitting right here.
Herbert West, my beloved.
in case people were like, what is that random black thing sitting there? It is a disemboweled cat.
Anyway, I definitely have a few things for the worsening, and I definitely know you have one big thing, if nothing else. So would we like to begin the meditation and reflect?
Mm-hmm. You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Listen, Q-Ball, you're only making it worse.
Thanks, that even makes it worse.
It's worse than you know.
It usually is. I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
That's the worst goodbye I've ever heard. And you stole it from a movie.
How marvelous.
So I know one major way that you're worse, bestie. Would you like to share with the class?
First, I will say that there are technically multiple ways, but they're all in the same category of video games.
I love it.
Because, so in one of my classes last Thursday, we were talking about video games. And it was really interesting because it kind of devolved into everybody just talking about the video games they like and making recommendations. So I made a list. But in like doing research for the class and, you know, trying to get updated like current info, I saw that the most expensive video game ever developed is Genshin Impact, which was, what was it, $751 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so I got curious because I was like, I've never played it. I don't even really know what it's about. I'm aware that it exists and that people like it. And now I know it was expensive. Mind-blowing that it is technically free to play. You don't even have to buy it.
What the? I did not know that. Okay.
They make all of their money from like in-game purchases, which you do not have to do.
Shit.
Yeah. So on Saturday, when I went to go find it, I was like, oh, it's not in the Steam store. And I was like, Googling it. And it's like, download now. And I'm like, okay. So I did. And I can't stop.
It's multiplayer, right?
Can't stop. You can. Yeah. There's like, my controller's still sitting right here because I might have been playing it up until about an hour and a half ago. I had to stop to eat dinner before we started.
Love it.
But you push one of the buttons on here and it brings up a chat on the left side of the screen to talk to like friends that you're connected with. And you can like join each other's parties and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, totally free to play. It's wild to me. The most expensive game ever made, free to play. And it's, you know, an RPG type game. And of course it's very pretty. And just the sword play in it is so like pretty. It's like a sight to behold. Yeah. So, when I had to stop playing it on Saturday because I went to Fright Fest, you know, so I had to stop for that. And then I didn't really let myself play again until today because I was sitting here in a meeting and it was a meeting I didn't really have to be engaged in. I was just kind of like listening.
So you were playing Genshin Impact.
Yep.
That's great.
Then,
oh my God.
And then the meeting ended. And the thing is, when you're like locked into the game and using a controller, you can't use your mouse. And I'm trying to like exit out of the meeting because everybody's leaving and I was the last one in the room. I was like, crap, they're going to know I wasn't even paying attention. I had to do a Control-Alt-Delete to bring up the task manager. It was the only way I could get my mouse quickly. And then I just kept playing for another like 2.5 hours. Even after the meeting was over.
And
now all I can think about is playing again. But that's the thing. Like, how many different games am I playing on Steam right now? I keep jumping back and forth between them. Plus Animal Crossing all the time. And the only reason I will play one on the Switch is because I have to physically change the game, and I don't want to do that. I'm lazy.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so there is that. I'm a little obsessed with that game right now.
I love it.
I don't know how many hours I've played it thus far. I mean, it hasn't been that many because I just started it Saturday, 4 days ago. But it's not on Steam, so I don't see that, like, you know, the tally popping up. I'm sure it's somewhere within the app. But I would say the other major thing is I've started looking at Steam Decks.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
I know one of my students has one, so I was asking him about it yesterday. He was like, I'll bring it to class on Thursday. And
there you go. Get a little demo.
I mean, he did technically show it to me when he first got it last year, but you know, I wasn't even thinking about it at that point. So I spent a lot of today looking up like, little skins for it, and like I don't even have one, but looking up SD cards to expand the storage.
I love this so much.
Oh, there was a thing I forgot to mention that you will enjoy. In the class where we were talking about video games last week, I told them that I had your old Nintendo in my office.
A Game Boy?
Which kind it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is it? It's Game Boy
Advance SP.
Advance. Okay, yeah. See, I can never remember that for some reason. But I told them, I was like, yeah, there's an old Game Boy in my office and with a Pokemon game, and they were like, which one? Which one? I'm like, I felt like it was leaf green. Is that right?
It's either leaf green or emerald.
Yeah, I don't remember. I told them leaf green. That was my best guess. Which they thought that was really funny.
I love that.
I was like, it's like, man, talking about all these games makes me want to go back to my office and like play video games, but the only thing I have in there
the only thing I have in there is a Game Boy.
yeah, it's like, but if I had a Steam Deck, I mean, I have brought my Switch to the office before.
I love that for you.
But yeah, if I had a Steam Deck, I could bring that with me. Yeah, nice lunch break. Yeah, so
This is amazing.
I just can't stop.
I can't believe you used to not be a gamer.
Yeah, part of the reason why is that I knew it would suck up huge portions of my life like this. Like, think about all the things
So I'm
I
just a
could
bad
have accomplished.
influence.
All the things that I could have accomplished if I took all the time that I put into playing video games. Like, I don't know how many hours I put into Animal Crossing alone in like 2 months.
Would you be having fun?
Oh, potentially. Like, I could be working on 3D printer stuff or knitting stuff, or that would actually like produce a thing.
Listen, time that you enjoyed
Instead of code.
wasting is not wasted time.
Yeah, but it's still like I haven't continued working on the Pip-Boy or anything.
Ooh, cool.
I mean, I have this part that I painted, but I'm gonna put a clear coat on it too. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of video game rot.
I absolutely love that for you. Speaking of fucking brain rot, I don't know what happened, but the way that fucking Reanimator has sunk its claws into me. And it's not even that I like rewatched it recently. Something just happened.
Where you were like thinking about it?
Yeah, where I thought about it and then suddenly it just talons into the wrinkles of my brain where I like girl, I have found my way to the Reanimator section on AO3 and I'm enjoying myself there. I want to do a cosplay of Dr. Herbert West because that's going to be really fucking easy.
I was looking into that for this Halloween, and then I thought about Bride of Reanimator, and then I decided I didn't have the time or motivation.
So valid. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I just thought about it, and suddenly, like, something snapped.
It kept coming up. It kept coming up recently.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's just it. Like, it's like a Beetlejuice thing where now I'm hyperfixated.
Yeah. His shirt comes off, by the way.
That's not information that I needed to know, but now I know it, and I'm very happy that I do. That
he's
actually
kind of ripped.
That's not information that you should have told me.
That's why I told you.
Fair enough. Yeah, I have a fucking crush on Dr. Herbert West now.
Look at that
I
dork.
hate myself.
They even got the lips right.
Hmm?
Because Jeffrey Combs has those like weird sort of pouty lips.
Whack. So yeah, that's a fun way that I'm worse. I have a new fandom / character that I'm hyperfixating on, and it's bad.
Nice.
It's bad, girl.
Very nice.
Other ways that I'm worse include the ghost shirt, which I already talked about, and I don't know if it's again finding a new section of AO3 to explore, but just in general, like fan fiction brain rot levels increasing. Finally fucking
Nice.
publishing stuff again. And nobody here and nobody who's listening to this, you're never gonna fucking know it's me. Maybe you've read it already, maybe you haven't. That is the only thing I will take to my goddamn grave. It's my AO3 username.
I know you wouldn't let me. You wouldn't tell it to me before.
And nope, that's my one secret in this life. Unless you are writing a story with me, you do not get to know.
You know I can find it, right?
Explain. I mean, I'm sure somebody could probably piece it together if they really, really wanted to, but I tried not to make it that
No,
obvious.
it's not piecing it together. I'm not going to tell you how, because, well, you couldn't do anything about it anyway.
You fucking bitch.
What? I haven't, but I can. Let me put it this way. Remember when we went to the Reading Bad fan fiction panel at Toricon, and they read that delightful Star Wars piece from Jabba the Slut?
Yes.
Remember that I found that.
I mean, you had that title. That's not hard.
I don't want to prove to you right now. I can later.
We're gonna have a fucking talk before you go back to playing Genshin Impact.
Because I will get your screen name and I will tell you what it is if that's what you want. And but you know I'm not going to read anything because
I know you're not going to. I just think
because now you're like, how?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. Don't. Let's not.
How indeed.
Let's not give anyone that the how on the air because
that's true. See,
I would have to scrub my entire online presence.
Because then they would do it, and
yeah, exactly. Your
account would be burned.
Yeah, no, that's not the vibe. So with all of that said, do we have any other ways that either of us are worse, or any further concluding thoughts before we get into our little reminders and closing statements section?
I am working on that crochet along.
I love it.
And being
How's that going?
weirdly perfectionist about it, and I have to make 60 of these stupid 4-color triangles. And I am getting too into it. Like, I get into this flow state, and like 4 hours will pass, and I've made like 3 triangles. I'm like, how did that even? I will not be keeping up with the rest of the group.
Rip.
All 60 are supposed to be done by Wednesday.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Today's Wednesday. Wait, was that this Wednesday? Yeah, they were supposed to be done by today. I think I did 10 of them.
Whoopsies. So proud.
I just had a moment where I was like, what is time?
What year is it?
Where am I? Yeah. It's like, wait, today is Wednesday. Because I tried to do math in my head until how many days I had left. I only have...
We're doing great.
0 days. I have 0 days because today
0 days.
is Wednesday.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm together.
Clearly, that's another way that I'm worse. I'm still adjusting to my work schedule.
It's been a week. Get over it.
Would that I could. Literally, my alarm goes off in the morning, and I'm just like, what if I just passed away?
Yeah.
Like, that genuinely
or you just do that.
preferable.
What if I just didn't show up?
Yeah, what if I just didn't get, like, that genuinely seems preferable to me in the moment. It's a problem, and I'm, like, genuinely desperately trying to fix it, and it's not going well.
And how early are you getting up?
6. It shouldn't be this hard. I'm well aware of this. I think in like fucking caveman days, I was supposed to be the person who took like the night guard of the cave.
Yeah. No, we've talked about this. I am a natural night owl. I thrive in the darkness.
I have been fighting my circadian rhythm my entire goddamn life, and the older I get, the more it starts winning.
Yeah, no, I can stay up until like 5 a.m. no problem.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and that's when I'm most motivated, is like the middle of the night. Like I will
Mhm.
clean my whole house at 2 a.m. I
Yep.
will rearrange every closet.
Let's fucking go.
But then I try to get myself to do those things at like 1 p.m. on a Saturday, and
And I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
nope, doesn't even matter how much sleep I got. I just like,
Yeah, nope, would rather
Like,
die.
2 a.m. Yeah, 2 a.m. I'll
2
do
a.m.
I'll do it all.
That is the
All
time.
the things.
Mhm.
Fortunately, the world has decided that we're supposed to be awake during the daylight hours, which is stupid.
It's fucking bullshit. Morning people are an oppressive class, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah, no, it's hegemonic.
Thank you. Okay. Before we take a serious turn, I think that's going to bring us to the end here. So, things to look out for. We're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, season 6, on our Twitch stream tomorrow night. Defenestration hour Friday? I'm not sure. Look in the chat. Perhaps pin that message.
Yes.
If that is indeed the case,
Yes.
you will know.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. So whatever that's going to be,
Defenestration hour
we'll
Friday.
on screen. Then
Literally hammering
Sunday.
down a movie here.
this Sunday, whatever happens, psychological torture edition. That is going to be on the Big Dumb Monsters Twitch channel at 4 p.m. on Sunday. So do not miss it. I think that's going to be very fun. Then Monday, Big Dumb Monsters. Tuesday, Regrettable Reviews. We're talking about Project Metal Beast, which is my punishment movie, one of apparently 3, because my offense was that egregious. Then Halloween episode of Fighting with Friends. Then Thursday, Halloween night, the Big Dumb Monster Mash at the Bull and Bee Meadery in Albany. Do not miss it. It's going to be freaking awesome. We're going to have karaoke. We're going to have trivia. We're going to have costume contests. There's going to be prizes. The vibes are just going to be immaculate. So pull up.
Yes, just as an update, Chris says that Defenestration Hour is going to be Super Cops 2, and then
Noted.
Dracula has risen from the grave on Big Dumb Monsters for Monday.
Hell yes. I will add those to the stream calendar for anyone else who wants to promote stuff on their own shows.
This weekend, I'm going to Rexpo, the Reptile Expo.
Nice. Have fun.
And here in
That
Rochester.
sounds
Yeah, I'm real
delightful.
stoked. Every year I've meant to go, and every year something has come up, and I am technically doing a race on Saturday morning, but then I got time.
You got the day.
I can actually do it this year, hopefully.
Hell yes.
I'm
Well,
pretty
you will have
stoked.
to. Well, there you go. You will have to report. That'll be a highly appropriate thing to report back on for a Halloween episode. Some creepy crawlies, or
Yeah.
as lots of people perceive snakes and lizards and tarantulas and bugs.
Yeah. It makes me so sad when people see Harley and they don't want to, like, I can't get my mom to even touch him. She thinks he's
same.
adorable.
My mom does not think that Ellie is cute whatsoever. She thinks she's gross.
Well, Harley is small and has a squishy nose,
This
so
is
he
true.
kind of has an advantage in that way. But because she looks at him and goes like, "Oh, look at his little tongue and stuff," I'm like, "You want to hold him?" No. It makes me so sad. That
Can't say that
nobody,
it makes sense, but all
just-
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as always,
yeah.
thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week with our Halloween episode. Do not miss it. Adios, everybody. This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform.
Catch us live on Twitch every Wednesday and Thursday, and for ad-free live broadcasts of the show, you can subscribe to our Twitch channels or consider donating to our Patreon for ad-free access to our entire library of past episodes and streams, as well as fun bonus content. Fighting with Friends is a member of the Big Dumb Monsters podcast network. Check out the links in the description for more episodes from us and from all of the shows on the network. Thanks for listening!